This meeting of the ISD Board of Education meeting is called to order. Thank you everyone for attending tonight. It's a beautiful day and we are glad that you are here with us. First item of business is to approve the agenda. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion we approve the agenda.
Second. We have a first and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is, we don't have any requested district citizens to speak this evening, so the next item is the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. We have a first and second. Dr. Grant?
All right, thank you very much. We have bills in the amount of $25,619,509.83 for this year. Last year at this time, we were just right around $22 million. And so kind of the reason for the increase will be, you heard the previous presentation, the construction at Fairmount. We're getting ready for furniture. We are renovating the Bingham weight room and expanding that. We are addressing issues in the bus parking lot that came from our negotiated sessions with ITEA. We had some drainage issues and some potholes, and so facilities has worked with transportation to get those addressed. We've had some HVAC work within the district, floors at our Project Shine sites. The turf at the Benton Playground, if you recall, we had the fire at Benton at their playground, and so that's been replaced, and now we have the turf and the soft padding that's underneath the playground. And so we have that. And then we have an approval to let bids for substitute service staff. This is something that we did look at last year. We would like to look at this again to gain information. In 2022-2023, some historical data, we had 180 subs who were paid through the year for subbing in our buildings with an average fill rate of 83%. In 23-24, we had 179 subs with an average fill rate of 84%. 24-25, we had 138 subs with an average fill rate of 78%. So through the years, we've also increased pay. In 22-23, an average rate was $115 a day for a daily sub. We've increased that to the current rate of $130 a day for our subs. It does continue to be an undue burden for our teachers when classrooms do not get filled. And at our middle schools and high schools, teachers will give up their plan time to support these classrooms. And at the elementary level, that means absorbing additional kiddos in classrooms. So it's for these reasons the district is seeking bids for sub services to provide services and to see what they can offer to see if we can improve those sub rates and fill rates. So that is why we were asking for that consideration. And that is all I have for that.
Any discussion?
A couple questions. You mentioned that the bills are about $3 million higher than last year at this time, and listed what those were. Thank you, appreciate that detail. I'm assuming that the budget that we approved does take into consideration those things that are happening, so those are going to be covered by the budget.
Yes, they will.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention was that I know that when we discussed the bids for temporary and substitute staff services last year, it turned out that it was not cost feasible. But I do appreciate our willingness to be able to look at that again, because if we can help our teachers to be able to be in their classrooms and not put, undue burdens on them, it's worth looking at again. And so I do appreciate doing that again and your willingness to do that.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to remind folks that that came about after we raised the long-term substitute rate without certification. So it was suggested that we go back and do that again. And because we just did that, when we get those bids back, could we include the past ones that we just did too, just to see how the trend and how it's going?
Dr. Robinson, we would make sure to include that information.
also had a question. Do you have the numbers specific to maybe levels, like the elementary sub fill rate as opposed to the high school or middle school?
I do not have that broken down. I can add that we have instituted for the past 2 years, I believe, the hiring of priority subs. So every building has a priority sub if they're able to hire one. Our larger buildings can have 2. So that helps, and we do still have the full-time sub position. So multiple avenues to try to address the issue and to support teachers.
Well, the high schools have 2 of the permanent sub long. Oh, you said long-term, didn't you?
Priority subs would be the full-time, essentially an additional full-time sub.
Right. So did you say that the high schools have the option to have 2?
Yes, if they can find them.
Do they all have 2?
I wouldn't know that at this time. Going into the beginning of the year, we would be able to see if they do, as we're looking at staffing.
And as far as the practice for that, are they kind of reserved for last-minute call-ins?
That's up to the building's discretion.
Can you, now I'm like, your question threw me off, I'm sorry. Can you describe the 2 different kinds of subs so that like we can fully understand as a board what exactly differentiates, what does that mean?
So priority subs would be individuals that are in those buildings every day, but if we need them, we could move them to another position. Full-time sub is solely at that building. That's what we would look at there. And that kind of runs through HR. If priority sub's not used, then it would go through and say, hey, we're going to use you over here. Full-time subs are specifically at the building. Clear as mud?
Yep. So of like that full-time sub, essentially they have a position at that school, they go there every day. Whether they need a sub or not, they're used every day. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, moving on. Under new business, the first item is, oh, I'm sorry. You're right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is the superintendent's report. Dr. Grant.
Thank you again. I do want to bring a bit of information. So we're looking as we close out the 24-25 school year and head into 25-26, which is absolutely unbelievable to me. We are looking at our retention rates for staff. This is a part of our school improvement plan. We track retention rates from year to year for our certificated staff. And this year we are closing the year at 90.8% retention rate, so that is wonderful. Extremely excited about that. Last year, the 23-24 year, we closed out 88.2%. 22-23 year, we closed out at 88%. And 21-22, we closed out at 81%. So our retention rate continues to grow, so we are very excited about that. Interesting to note, HR was able to tell me that out of the individuals that participate in Career Ladder, we had a 93% retention rate for those that participated and chose to participate in Career Ladder. We want to thank our Project Shine volunteers. We so appreciate their willingness to serve and to support us with this event. At Bingham, Southern, and Proctor, we had 275 volunteers that day, so that was great. I do want to mention our governor signing the budget for the 26 budget year. We do have the foundation formula fully funded for a $497 million increase. So that actually allows us to have our SAT, or our student adequacy target, set at $7,145, which is an increase. Last year we were sitting at $6,700 and I believe 35 is what that was sitting at. School transportation has a $15 million increase for totaling $376.5 million. The minimum teacher salary grants were funded at $33.4 million. The Career Ladder program is continuing at the $50 million mark. High needs funds at $9 million, and early childhood special education at $240.6 million. So those were all funded. I do want to note that there were 208 vetoes regarding the general revenue, and 26 of those vetoes would impact the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. I'm not going to list all of them, but some to note, which we do not have details as to what that will look like, would be science programs from 6 through 12, Missouri School Board Association, Safe and Drug-Free Schools, reading literacy program, which we did find out that does not impact our letters training that our teachers participate in. So that is good news. Teacher recruitment and retention scholarships, grow your own grants, and several more. So those were impacted in the vetoes. We do not have details as to that. And then regarding the federal budget, we did receive communication from the U.S. Department of Ed that funding for several key federal grants are still under review. So that means Title I, Part C, which would be migrant education. Title II, Part A, supporting effective instruction, which is PD, professional development. Title III, Part A, which is English language acquisitions, or EL programming, and looking at that. And then Title IV, Part A, which would be student support and academic enrichment. So those are some of the items that we're watching. Really, we don't have any more information in that. They're just under review at that federal level. So keep everyone posted.
Am I correct that it's still possible in that federal budget that some of those monies might come through block grants through the state?
Correct. That is a possibility that the federal government could just give it directly to the states and then they would administer it. So we are hopeful that that is what will occur.
Any discussion?
Dr. Grant, you spoke a little bit on the increases in retention. Do we know, because this year was a pretty significant increase, do we know what might be behind that? Do we have an idea? Have we talked to folks about why they stayed?
So I'm actually in the process of collecting the data as to, okay, what are teachers telling us, the culture and climate survey, so reviewing all of that data.
I'm going to hazard a guess that our retention incentive might have helped with that some.
I'm speculating, yes.
Out of curiosity, what was the number, do you think, the turnout for Project Shine?
Yeah, 275. Yes, 275. No, you're fine. We're good. Yeah.
Dr. Grant, I want to take this time to present to you a plaque that your Independence School Board received for the 2025 Governance Team Award from Missouri School Boards Association. So this is for you to do whatever you want to do with that plaque. But that represents the hard work that board members on the dais have done in the last year, showing up, learning, being present at a lot of different things, and all of that as volunteers. So thank you guys for all of that. Denise, I'd also like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your School Board Member of Distinction award that you received at the MSBA conference, this summit this last summer, this last month, I guess. Was it last month or this month? Whew. Thank you for your work that you put into that.
Thank you very much. And I would also say that you also earned that same award, distinguished. So thank you too for all of your effort.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to move on to new business. The first item of new business is the approval of the 2025-2026 Alternative Method of Instruction Plan, AMI, for the 2025-2026 school year. I'll entertain a motion.
Make that motion.
Second.
The motion has been first and seconded. Dr. Grant?
All right. The items covered in the presentation that we had during our work session will cover the requirements outlined by the state of Missouri so that we would be able to submit our AMI plan after the board's approval. So we would appreciate your approval.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Second item is the approval of the selection of, well, we are not going to do this. The superintendent search firm.
The selection.
This is, we can make an amendment. This is for the hiring of the new superintendent search firm.
And the desired results are for the selection of search forms for a presentation at a later date, which is what we discussed in the work session.
Okay, we can entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
And just to clarify, Dr. Stout, could you reiterate the two that we are going to request interviews with?
Yes, ma'am. I believe my marching orders are to get a hold of Mac and Jake and also MSBA and see if both of those firms will be able to visit directly with the Board of Education on our work session in August.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item of business is the approval of the cash management resolution.
I move that we approve the cash management resolution.
Second. Dr. Grant.
All right. This is something that we do annually. The purpose of this motion allows the district to utilize a broad range of banking and investment instruments. This authority ensures the flexibility to pursue the most advantageous interest rates that are available when investing district funds. Additionally, it allows the district to adopt new banking services as operational needs evolve, including but not limited to automated clearinghouse transactions, purchase card programs, and other financial tools. This is reviewed and updated annually to reflect any personnel changes and must also be revised following any other changes with the board. Thank you for your consideration.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of cab services for students requiring alternative transportation, including those with special needs in specialized programs. We need a motion.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Second.
Dr. Grant.
And I will turn this over to Dr. Stout.
Thank you, Dr. Grant. An RFP for transportation services, including special needs transportation to out-of-district agencies, McKinney-Vento services, and other specialized programs as needed, was sent out on May 16, 2025. A total of 9 proposals were submitted in the response. Of those, 7 vendors were selected for interviews. So Director Darrell Huddleston, who's here with us this evening, and his leadership team conducted these interviews. Following a comprehensive review process, we are recommending the companies that's listed in your packet for approval. Those are Adroit Assist Services, Everdriven, First Vault, Safekeepers Place, and WHC KCT for students requiring alternative transportation, including students with special needs and specialized programs. Any questions?
Can you explain just a little bit on the need for many vendors?
I can, and I'm sure Darrell can add to this, but it's a great question. We do have a number of these children in our district, and sometimes getting services at a moment's notice or even with on the schedule and people drop off or they don't meet their needs. So having a buffet, if you will, of services that we can pull from is very helpful to him and his team.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is the approval to purchase laptops for teachers and staff. We need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Grant.
All right, and again to Dr. Stout as he worked through this one.
We're asking the board this evening to approve the purchase of new laptops for our high schools and IA staff members. Director Todd Thien and his team developed this 4-year rotation for teachers and staff several years ago, and it served us well. These laptops will be given to all teachers and support staff in the high schools and IA, as I've mentioned, along with sub-laptops for each building. The cost of the 560 Dell laptops from CDWG under the MOAPA 025F contract is $559,440. A couple of just tidbits of information to include. Our laptop price 4 years ago was $650. versus $995 now, so that's not too good of news. And I did mention the 4-year rotation. So this year is the 3 high schools in IA, and then also on part of this rotation are the 4 middle schools, and then the 3rd year be 10 elementary schools, and then the 4th year is the other 10 elementary schools. Any other questions?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is the approval to accept and sign proposal for the restoration of the bleachers at Chrysler Stadium.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, I hope everyone has had the opportunity to take a peek at the upgrades to Chrysler Stadium. For someone who has grown up here, it's just absolutely amazing to be able to see those improvements. And for this, the district is looking to restore the bleachers at Chrysler Stadium, which are original to the space. And so they are in need of repairs, as you can imagine. So we would ask that you accept the proposal of $476,222.87. There was only one bid for this, as it was a sole source, and it was the only company around the area that is able to complete these repairs as needed. So thank you for your consideration.
Any discussion?
Thank you for the explanation on the sole source. Did we have any kind of an estimate of what we thought it was going to cost, and how did the actual numbers compare to them?
And I will ask Mr. Greg McGee to answer that.
It's a 3-phase approach, so this is only phase 1. This is the top layer, and then after the top layer is done, then you'll put a traffic coating on top of that, and then you'll do the underlayment. So currently right now, all the rebar is showing through the concrete that has crumbled, and so you have to fix all of that, and MTS is the best of the business around here who does all the work for that. So that's the company that is through Sourcewell or an Omnia contract is what it was. So,
Thank you.
yep.
So this is, so this is only part 1 of 3? Like there will be 2 more giant expenses coming soon?
They're not as big, but they're large. So the traffic coating they want to do in March. And then the underlayment is, once we get all of that sealed, then the rain will stop and all of the cracking of the concrete and the rebar showing will eliminate, but then we'll want to clean up the bottom sides to make it look aesthetically okay. So that would be the following year. Yes.
Are these bleachers going to be heated bleachers?
No. No, but if you purchase concrete anywhere, you'll know that's very expensive.
What's the lifespan? I mean, obviously
Forever.
they're original,
They've
but
only-
Ever, okay.
forever.
They've been around probably 80 years-ish,
So
I
it's a
think.
good investment.
So, yeah.
Hey, I invested a lot of sweat in those original bleachers. I can attest to the wear and tear that it's sustained. Is this coming out of capital?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is the approval to purchase the district's white copy paper, color paper, and cardstock for the 2025-2026 school term.
I'll make that motion. A second.
Dr. Grant?
All right, it's that time again as we prepare for the start of the school year through the Greater Suburban Kansas City Joint Purchasing Cooperative. We recommend the acceptance of the bid from the Paper Corporation to purchase the district's white copy paper, color paper, and cardstock. This is for all of our buildings, departments, and the print shop. Thank you for your consideration.
How much is it? Denise encourages me to ask this question, being that we talked
It's a
about.
lot. We're gonna do packets for all these kids.
This is why
for
we
their snow
have to
days.
count every piece of paper we send home, okay?
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved, but very quickly, I just wanted to welcome Dr. Grant to the dais. This was her first official meeting. I know she filled in last month, but I just wanted to make sure that that was acknowledged. Welcome to the team.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I'm sorry, I feel like we've done this for a couple of months now, so, yeah, thank you.
So do you need me to do the official,
We need a second.
so we don't need to do this?
Oh, you do need to move to adjourn, yes.
I move to adjourn to closed session pursuant to Missouri State Statute for legal matters 610.021 subparagraph 1 and personnel issues 610.021 subparagraph 3.
Second? Okay, Ms. Smith? Yes.
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 We are adjourned.